What's up YouTube? Thanks for checking out another video. I'm excited about this one, my top 10 ideas for low contents, particularly journals. If this is your first time here, this channel is about passive income, ACX, Kindle, KDP, self-publishing, Amazon FBA2, and other stuff that's the focused. So if you can, give me a like, a subscribe, all that jazz. I'm pretty excited about this video though. And the reason I'm excited is because I hear from people that are my students or from others in the publishing world that, oh, there's no ideas for low content. They're all done, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, that's just not true. There's hundreds of ideas. This could easily be an hour-long video of me just cruising through random journals, books like that. But I narrowed it down. Now, of course, do your own research, your own due diligence, examine these niches further for yourself. But these are definitely ones that intrigued me. And I will say, well, what is low content exactly, right? So low content means it's for lack of a better phrase, it's a simpler book. It does not high content, meaning it has tons of words, a lot of things you'd have to write or hire a writer to do. So examples are journals, coloring books, that sort of thing, in case you were not familiar with this concept. But more than likely you are if you're watching this video. So let's get right into it. Let's dive into these books, these niches, and take a look. All right, guys, here is my first journal. It's depression journal. That's the main keyword. Pretty intriguing niche. How much can you make selling this? Well, check this out. You can do pretty well in this niche. Look, average 357 monthly sales. Look at these top 10. I'll let this thing reload. So I'm using this Jungle Scout Chrome extension. Pretty cool tool. You can see these top 10. I'll sell a few hundred per day. Per month. About, looks like 5 to 12 per day. Average price of $12. Average ratings of 2,000. And look, even Jungle Scout says it's a good opportunity, right? I don't take this number. I make my own decisions. So if you use this, I kind of take it with a grain of salt. And look, I mean, and 2,000 is honestly probably skewed by some of these results down here like this, right? But in reality, it's not like you need 2,000 ratings to compete in this market. For instance, this book only has 26 ratings and is still selling a respectable 283 per month, right? And so, honestly, not all these results are even about depression. So, for instance, right, this is actually a happiness journal, right? So the opposite of depression. So that kind of tells me that there's just a fair amount of opportunity in this because, Amazon is always going to put, for the most part, relevant results. So there's probably room to run in this niche. So this one looks like it does pretty well. It is an actual depression journal. So I would probably read a lot of these reviews and try and see how I could improve upon this or make a better journal than this. But I mean, 5,000, like, that's good. I mean, now obviously that's not all take home, that's revenue, but you can make a few $1,000s a month selling a depression journal. Go figure, guys. 2021, 2022, time to make money online if you're not already. So let's keep it moving. I know you want to see the next ones. Number 2 here. So this one's actually pretty similar, but it's anxiety journal. So you can see this keyword back here, anxiety journal. So very similar to the last one, depression. But you can see there's a little bit more demand here. This sells average monthly sales of 427 with an average review rating of 4,000. So this one is a little bit more competitive. We see more of these results on page 1 having a few thousand ratings. But there's still people with, this guy's only got 200. So, you could compete potentially. He's selling a respectable 300 books a day. And honestly, guys, Jungle Scout I found to be fairly conservative. When I've tested against my own products and things, the numbers were always low. It would say like I was selling 600 a month when in fact I was selling 1,000. So keep that in mind that these numbers are quite potentially higher, right? So that's a nice opportunity. So if you want to pursue this, look into this. Read these reviews. This is a little bit of a low price, $8.99. After the printing fees and the Amazon fees, you might not take home a lot on this particular book. So that would lead me towards the depression niche seems a little bit more higher price point, but it's still a great opportunity. You could potentially make a book that creates more value, right, than that $8.99 book I just showed you. But there are books that are doing well, like $15. So again, you can make a couple thousand per month easily from this niche. So let's go on to another one. Journal with prompts. So this is kind of interesting. This brings in a whole bunch of different types of journals, self-discovery, a lot of mental health journals. But look, this one here only has 93 reviews, so that's cool. That's something we can compete with, right? And it's got a high price point, $17.99. So we can actually make some profit on a book like that, and so that's really cool. So let's go in here and here's my extension. Sorry, loading here. Actually, let's look at it just on this one specifically, right? So on this self-discovery journal, let's see what Jungle Scout says they're doing. So look at this, about 11 per day. So, and look, it's been for sale for a little over a year. So, pretty cool, guys. I mean, in a year you can have a book like this. So let's go let's move along, keep this moving. So this is another tool I use, very similar, viral launch, very similar to Jungle Scout, just a competitor. But this niche I thought was interesting, hiking journal, right? So average review count 314, monthly sales 213. Pretty cool. So people like to chronicle their hikes, and there you go. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel and create some genius product. Just a really good hiking journal can make income in this day and age. This was another similar to the last one, but writing prompt journal, right? So people that like to, writers that want to get their creative juices flowing. I actually wish this could be an idea too, like a YouTube video prompt journal. Honestly, that's something I would buy because sometimes it's hard to come up with ideas, right? But right, so check this out. Pretty cool. We see some low review counts here on page 1, 36, right? So, right, room to get in here. So pretty cool. This was another one that was interesting, horse coloring book, right? So most of these are journals, but this coloring book caught my eye. Horses are a pretty big passion of people, kids, even adults, right? So make a coloring book about horses. Let's go on to the next one, fashion journal. This one was interesting. This book here particularly caught my eye. It's got 182 reviews, which isn't too terrible to compete with, and high price point, $20. So I thought this was an interesting niche. If I run my Jungle Scout here, let me let it load. So you see that Jungle Scout also thinks this is a good niche. with average monthly sales of 863. Several people here selling a couple hundred per month. So something to look into. This one is interesting, guys. This keyword is scripture journal. So people who, for people who are interested in reading the Bible and taking notes, that kind of thing. Average monthly sales 313. Average ratings 1,200. So there are, a lot of these do have a little bit higher reviews, but plenty have enough where you can compete with them. So worth looking into. Cooking notebook journal, right? So if you love to cook, create your own recipes, a journal, right? So my recipe book, right? This one, $5.99. That's kind of a little bit lower price. This niche, the average price is $11, and they kind of seem a little low. But maybe you can make a better book, right? Than this to justify a higher price point, because these review ratings are really low, right? So, but for instance, this would be hard to compete with. 6,000 is a lot, but this guy is doing pretty well. And then lastly, guys, visualization journal, number 10. This one is pretty low competition. You can see average reviews are basically nothing. And the people that have any reviews are doing well, right? So 148 sales for 165 reviews, 200 sales, right? Kind of a morning meditation journal. So pretty cool. So these were some ideas that I think merit further investigation. And honestly, the ideas for journals are honestly endless, and coloring books and low content is just, I cannot emphasize enough how much opportunity there is out there. So if you think there's not, it's because you just haven't looked hard enough, or you don't know how to. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, because I want people to succeed. So how did I find these ideas? That's probably be an idea, for another video coming shortly. But I want to share these with you, and we'll go ahead and I'll see you guys in the next video.